Welcome back, students. Welcome to my YouTube channel, your digital classroom, where you will get the necessary help for your total English, text, grammar, writing and spoken English all in one. Learn English in English. Today I will introduce you to three small but important grammatical items, and they are participle, gerund and verbal noun. Another important element of this group is infinitive. I have made one separate video for it. The title of the video is Important Tips on Infinitive and its uses in English. Important tips on infinitive and its uses in English. If you like, watch the video from the channel's playlist. Okay. Now come to the day's lesson. Participle. Okay. Now, what is a participle? Very easy. A participle is a non-finite verb form which is both a verb and an adjective. A verb and an adjective. For this, it is called double parts of speech. Double parts of speech. But it works mainly as an adjective in a sentence. Its adjectival force is dominant everywhere. So this is participle. Now, types of participle. How many types of participle are there in English? In English, we get three types of participles. Three types of participle. Number one, present participle, verb plus ing, going, doing, etc. These are called present participles. Okay, one note is here. Remember this, the present participle is always active in force. It is used in the active voice. Remember this point. Present participle is active in force. It is used in the active voice. Remember this, and it will be useful for you when you do your grammar. Number two, past participle. Past participle, that is gone, done, written, eaten. These are called past participles. How it is formed? Verb plus ed, d, t, en, n. You know it. See the note here. Past participle is passive in force. It is used in passive voice. Okay. So the present participle is active in force and past participle is passive in force. Present participle is used in the active voice and past participle is used in the passive voice. Remember this. This is very useful. And number three type of participle is perfect participle. Okay, perfect participle. How perfect participle is formed? Having plus past participle of the verb. See, having gone, having done. This is perfect participle. So in English, we get three types of participles. Three types of participle. Number one, present participle. Number two, past participle. And number three, perfect participle. Okay. Now, uses of participles. How participles are used in English? See, participles are used at the beginning of a sentence. Where? At the beginning of a sentence. Remember this. And now see the examples and keep the examples in your memory and there will be no problem. Going there, going, present participle. Going there, he found the thing. Here, going there, this part is used at the beginning of the sentence. You see, this one is qualifying this pronoun but modifying the whole sentence. Remember this. So present participle is used at the beginning of the sentence. Another one, having gone there, he found the thing. Here it is going there, he found the thing. Here it is having gone there, he found the thing. This is present participle and this is perfect participle. This participle is qualifying the pronoun, the subject here, and modifying the whole sentence. Remember this. One note is here. Remember, it is qualifying the noun or pronoun. It is qualifying the noun or pronoun. It is pronoun here, but modifying the whole sentence. I have already said. The noun or pronoun must be always attached to it. They must be attached always. They must not be detached. Okay, this going is attached to this. So this and this, that participle and the subject are attached. Okay, now present participle is used secondly before a noun. Present participle is used firstly at the beginning of a sentence, and secondly it is used before a noun. See the example. He caught the running train. This is a noun and running is the participle. So it is used before the noun. So he caught the running train. Another example, he threw the broken pen. He threw the broken pen. And number C, good food is necessary for growing children. Growing is present participle and it is being used here before the noun children. Number 3, participle is used at the end of a sentence. So first you got a participle is used at the beginning of a sentence. Second, you got a participle is used before the noun. And third, you got the participle is used at the end of a sentence. See the example. The scenery is charming, present participle. We found the car running. Okay. And number 3, they got the pole removed, past participle. They got the pole removed. And another one, the matter is alarming. So participle is used at the end of a sentence like this. Charming, running, removed, alarming. Okay. The last one, a participle is used absolutely in an absolute phrase. A participle is used absolutely in an absolute phrase or in a nominative absolute phrase. Okay, see the example. The son having said, this is the participle, and you know this total thing is called absolute phrase. So having said, the son having said, they left the place. Another one is here, the dinner being over, they left the hall. The dinner being over, they left the hall. Okay, so participles are used in 4 ways. Number 1, at the beginning of a sentence. Number 2, participles are used before a noun. And number 3, participles are used at the end of a sentence. And number 4, participles are used absolutely in an absolute phrase or in a nominative absolute phrase. Okay. Now see, here is one important point, unattached participle. First see this sentence. Standing on the dais, he said this. I told you before just now that standing, this is a participle and this is the noun or pronoun. Here it is the pronoun. This participle qualifies the noun here. So this participle and this noun, the subject, must be always attached. They must not be detached. Attached means they should stay like this, side by side. So it is called attached participle. Okay, they must stay together. It is called an attached participle. Okay, and now see this sentence. Standing on the dais, his hands did this. Here, this he is out in this sentence. See, he is out or he is detached or unattached. Standing is not attached to his hands. So, standing is here an unattached participle and the sentence is wrong. Okay, here see, standing is attached to he, but here in this sentence that he is absent. That means standing is unattached. It is now detached. Standing on the dais, his hands did it. This standing is not attached to his hands. It is attached to he, and that is out. So the sentence is wrong. The right sentence is, the correct sentence is, While he was standing on the dais, his hands did it. Remember this. While he was standing on the dais, his hands did it. This way use he and this. Never use this way. It will be always attached to the subject. To the noun or pronoun, it qualifies. Okay, this is called unattached participle. Now go to the second point. This is the gerund. So what is the gerund? It is a non-finite verb form which is used both as a verb and as a noun. Two ways, as a verb and as a noun. For this it is called double parts of speech like participle, but mainly it is used as a noun. A participle is called double parts of speech. There it is verb and adjective, and a gerund is called double parts of speech, and here it is verb and a noun, but mainly it is a noun in a sentence. Like a noun, it is used in a sentence as a subject, object and complement. See the examples, then your idea will be clear. See, swimming is good for health. See, swimming. This is a participle, but this participle is used as the subject of this verb, the subject of the sentence. For this, it is being used here as a noun. For this, it is called a gerund. So, swimming is good for health. Here, swimming is a gerund. Likewise, in the same way, I like swimming more than running. Here, swimming is the object, running is the object. Seeing is believing. Here, believing is complement and seeing is the subject. Seeing is believing. Here, believing is the complement and seeing is the subject. And believing is the complement of the subject. Seeing is believing. And he is fond of reading. Reading is the ing form of the verb. Here, reading is used here as a prepositional object. It is the preposition and this one is the object. So it is being used here as an object like a noun. For this one is called a gerund. So a gerund is used as a subject of a sentence like this. Swimming is good for health. As an object in a sentence like this, I like swimming more than running. And as a complement like this, seeing is believing, and as a prepositional object, here it is the preposition and this one is the object. He is fond of reading. Okay. Now the verbal noun. What do you mean a verbal noun? It is the ing form of a verb. Ing form of a verb which is used as a noun in a sentence. Ing form of a verb which is used as a noun in a sentence. It takes the definite article the before it and the preposition of after it when in use. Okay. So what is the verbal noun? So if you analyze the name, verbal noun means the noun made of a verb. The noun made of a verb is called a verbal noun. And that type of noun is always ing in form, ing form. And it always takes a definite article the before it and the preposition of after it. Now you can understand. See the example. The writing of this board is out now. Here writing, see this one, ing form of the verb and it came from the verb write. So writing, and this one is preceded by the definite article the and followed by the preposition of. That means one the is there before it and one preposition of is there after it. In this environment, when you find this one is called the verbal noun. Verbal noun. The noun made from a verb by adding ing at the end. So the definition is, it is the ing form of a verb which is used as a noun in a sentence. As a noun in a sentence, it takes the definite article the before it and the preposition of after it when in use. Take another example. See, they were surprised at the dancing of the snake. Dancing, the dancing of, the writing of, the dancing of. See, the and of in between the ing form of the verb, the of in between the ing form of the verb. It is a noun here. Another example, I like the painting of Picasso. Painting ing form, the of. So painting, dancing, writing, these are called verbal nouns as they are preceded by the definite article the and followed by the preposition of. Okay. Now thank you this much today. Watch this video, and after that if you have any problem, use the comment box for the communication. Alright, share this video with your friends and classmates so that they may get necessary help from it. As you are getting, for instant notification, subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you for your patience and participation. See you soon.